Hello and welcome to SudoKanard. One more Kakuro video in English, and I do a Kakuro puzzle by Puzzle Maestro, also known as Freddy Hand. This one was published on the 11th of June of 2020 on Logic Masters Germany, or Logic Masters Deutschland, and it has a 97% rating, which shows that the quality must be excellent. Well, it shouldn't come as a surprise coming from Freddy. And the difficulty is assessed to 3 stars. And so, what is this variant? Well, we have a somewhat normal Kakuro, meaning that every time you have a set of empty cells surrounded by 2 shaded cells, or surrounded by a shaded cell and the border of the grid, then all digits must be different and their sum is the number in the shaded cell, in the shaded triangle, I should say. And sometimes the sum is not given. Well, in this case, I was about to say something wrong. But usually in a regular Kakuro puzzle, those 9 digits being different would be all digits from 1 to 9. Therefore, the sum would be 45. But in Zero Kakuro, there's this special rule that 0 is accepted as a digit. Therefore, those 9 digits may include the 0 and exclude some other digit. And I will add that I've never solved a Zero Kakuro puzzle previously, so this will be my first attempt. And let's get solving. Well, I think that what I will notice first is that in some cases it is necessary that 0 does not appear. I'm not sure about my conjugation. Well, for example, this 10 clue must have 2 non-zero digits. And perhaps I'll denote this with this little dot, and it's the same with this 30 clue, because in regular Kakuro the only way to do 30 as a sum of 4 different digits is 6, 7, 8, 9, and with the 0 as an extra digit it's the same, because 0 can only make smaller sums, and 30 is the maximum sum for 4 digits. Now, I was about to say that this has to be 6 or 7, but that is regular Kakuro, so not necessarily. It could be, I was about to say it could be 9, 1, and 0, but actually no, because of this 20 clue. 20 can't include a 0 because 2 digits can't add up to 20. So those have to be digits from 1 to 9. And now in a 20 clue, the possibilities are 983, 974, 965, 875. So this is at least 3. So this is at most 7. And 370 is a possibility, but this has to be at most 7. And this has to be at most 4. And now this can only be 0 or 1. So the possibilities are 370, 460, and 361. this 17 clue must be 8 and 9. And now this has to be 2 or 1. Or this 3 is given. These digits are both non-zero digits. Oh, and this 10 clue. The minimum you can have for a sum of 5 non-zero digits is 15. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 is 15. So it has to include a 0. And actually, this is the sum of all 5 lowest digits, 0 to 4. So let's write it down this way. And this has to be 3 or 4, as we saw previously with this clue. Oh. And now those have to add up to 16 or 17, so there must be 7, 8 or 9, and 9 has to appear in one of those cells. So this has to be somewhere between 6 and 9, and this must be somewhere between 4 and 1. In regular Kakuro, those should be 1, 2, 3, and 4, but now 0 is permitted. So, not so sure. Oh, but 0 couldn't go there, because if 0 were in this place, we would have a maximum of 4 with those 2 digits, and then a maximum of 28. Therefore, not fulfilling this 30 clue. So this is a non-zero digit. Oh, so this should be 6-9, not 6 or 9. Those are, oh, those 2 digits have a sum of 13 or more. So the 4 remaining digits must have a sum of 7 at most. So they have to include a 0. And those 4 digits have a sum of 6 at least. So these 2 must have a sum of 14 at most. So 9 is not possible. And 14 at most. So this has to be a 6, because with 7 would force an 8, and then we'd have 15, which would be too much, because the other 4 digits would make at least 6. Now, so this has to be a 7, and now the only possibility is 3 plus 0. This is our first 0. Now the remaining digits must be 8 and 9 in some order. Now those 2 add up to 13 or 14, so the remaining digits must add up to 6 or 7. So they must be 0, 1, 2, 3 or 0, 1, 2 and 4. This one can't be 0 because there's already a 0 here. So 0 has to appear somewhere in those cells. I'm not sure how to do that. This is at least 15, so the remaining 3 cells must add up to at most 5, so they must include a 0. because 3 positive integers and 3 different positive integers add up to at least 6. So there has to be a 0 somewhere, not here. And those are not 0. So there has to be a 0 somewhere in here. There has to be a 0 somewhere in there. Ooh. This is 1 or 2, so there has to be a digit worth at least 3 in those cells. And actually, to fulfill this 30, those digits can't be too small, because those 3 digits plus those 3 digits must add up to 30. But 1, 2, would 1, 2, and 3 satisfy this? Because we would now need to do 24. So it would be 7, 8, and 9, but with 7 would fit with 0, 1, and 2 in those cells. So that seems possible. But I think that 9 here, 9 here looks possible. 9, 8, 1, 0, and 2. That sounds possible. Oh, the plot thickens. I must be missing something. I'm pretty sure that's the place we need to look at. There's not enough information in the rest of the grid. Oh, but wait. If 7 is here, that's an 8, 9 pair, and we need now 1, 2, here, 1 or 2 here, and the other 1 or 2 paired with this 0. But then, if this is 1 or 2, let me write it down. Let's say this is 7, then this has to be 1 or 2. And now we need another 7 to complete here to 20. So this will have to be a 4. And those will have to be 0, 1, and 2 in some order. And those must be 0, 1, or 2 as well. And now, this looks feasible. Oh, I was hoping for some, well, something to disambiguate, but so something to, like a contradiction actually. But it doesn't seem to be a contradiction. That would be 0, 2 or 1, 0. And only this would cause disambiguation, I guess. Yes. But how do you disambiguate this? Is there something similar with assuming this is an 8? Well, not so clear. So those would be those would have to be 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Well, maybe I'm supposed to look somewhere else. Not sure where. This 4 could be 1 and 3, could be 4 and 0. This 40 could be a lot of different stuff. Hey, oh, I see what I've been missing for some 5 minutes at least. No, this being a 3, we need now 17, so it has to be 8 and 9. So this is an 8. Oh, sorry about missing this. So now we have 17 here. We need another 3, so there have to be 1 or 2 here, and the other 1 or 2 somewhere down there. Now, this is 14. We need another 6, so this has to be a 3. And those have to be 0, 1, and 2. But these two must have a minimum of 3, so they have to be 2, 1, 1, and 2. This has to be a 0. That's a 0. That's 2 or 1. Those have to be 8 and 9 in some order. And now there has to be a 0 down there. And at some point, this 8. I'm missing a lot there. So this is all resolved now. And now those have to be 7, 8, or 9 to complete the 30. And there has to be a 0 somewhere in those cells. Somewhere in those cells as well. Somewhere in one of those 2 cells. And this can't be too big. This can't be too big. Because of this 7. Actually, the most we can have as a sum of those 3 is 3. Oh, so this has to be a 7. 8 and 9 wouldn't fit. And those have to be 1, 0, and 2. Those 4 values were the minimum values, and they add up to the targeted result. And now let's have a look of all maximum values in those cells. This has a maximum of 2. This has a maximum of 4, which leaves 24 to complete, which is the maximum sum for 3 digits. So they have to have those values. I need to work on my vocabulary, I think. So this is a 3 now, no 7s in those cells. 0, 1, and 2. And those have to be 7, 8, and 9. And because of this 8, 9 pair, this is a 7. Those are 8 and 9. And this has to be 2 or 1. Now we have 2 small digits. And those have to be 0 and 1. Now we have a 0, 1, 2 triple in this row, and those 3 digits must add up to 17. This is at most 6, this is at most 7, so this has to be at least 4. maximum values here are 1, 6, 7, and 2. And the sum of those maximum values is 16, so those maximum values are forced. 1, 2, 6, and 7. Now this is a 0, this is a 1. Oh, I was just thinking about typography. I'm not sure which. This is the French way of making a one digit, of making digit 1, perhaps. But, well, it must be strange if you're not used to this way of writing down a 1, a 7, a 4. Well, different cultures. Now, those digits have a minimum of, or a maximum. No. Well, this one can only be 3, 4, or 5, actually. And this one between 3 and 6. And we need a sum of 17. I'm afraid there's a lot of possibilities, actually. Now this 40 clue needs a 0 because there are 9 digits. Also, they must be all digits except the 5, because the sum of all 10 digits is 45, so only 5 is missing in this row, but we don't know what's here, we don't know what's there. We have no clue about this row. Doesn't sound easy. What next? How am I supposed to solve all of this? What about this digit? The minimum, or actually 3 and 4 is not possible, because it would make a total sum of 10, requiring a 10 in here. So this must add up to at least 8. And the maximum is 11. So 8 would make this a 9, 11 would make this a 6. Oh, but 6 wouldn't fit with the 5, 6 making 11. So this can't be a 6. This is actually 7, 8, or 9. I think this 40 clue can't have a 0, because with 7 different digits, the maximum you can have, well, oh, because with 6, well, if there is a 0, then you use 6 non-zero digits, and the maximum with 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and 4, That's 39. So there can't be a 0 in here. So this 0 has to be here. And this is 2 or 1. And now the two missing digits add up to 5. So whether this... Oh, and this can't be a 0. And this can't be a 0. So they have to be 1 and 3 in some order. But now, if this is a 1, then this has to be a 2. And it's not possible to have two missing digits adding up to 5. So this has to be a 3. And this has to be a 2. And then the two missing digits are 1 and 4. And this resolves this 8-9 pair. This is not a 9. So those need to have a sum of 10 or 9. So 3 could make a sum of 9 with a 6. 4 could make either 10 or 9. 5 could make... But this 3 is not possible. This is between 4 and 6. Now those digits are now not 1 known. They have to be 5 to 9. So this is 5 or 6. Nine could go there with the 1 and the 0. So 5 to... Oh, 5 to 9. So this has to be a 5. This is a 6. No 6 here, no 5 here. So those have to add up. Now I think, yes, the biggest digits available add up to 17, add up to 20 for the whole sequence. So they are the right digits. Now those must be between 0 and 3, not 0 or 1. So this is 2 or 3. This is 1, 0, 1 or 2. 2, 3 and 4 in here. And now this is, well, one of those digits. Oh, no, this is a 7. Those are 8, 9, and this has to be a 0 because of those digits. It couldn't be 1, it couldn't be 8, 1 and 1. So this is not 0. Now we have 24. Those three digits must add up to 6. This is at least 2. This is at least 1. This is at most 3, but it could still be 2, 4, and 0. Those must be all digits except 5. This is not 0 or 3. This has to be 1, 2, or 4. This can still be a 0. This can still be a 0. This will probably be the last digit. Not sure. can this not include a 0? Can it be 1, 2, and 3? So this would be 2 or 3, this would be a 5. Oh, this would be 1 and 2, 1 or 2. And those 3 digits should be 1 or 2. And this would clash, so no. So this 30 sum must include a 0, not here, not here. 0 has to be there. And this 20 clue does not include a 0. And those 2 digits must add up to 6. Could it be 5 plus 1? I guess it could. 2 plus 4. Something tells me that no, 2 plus 4 wouldn't work, because this would be at least 6. Oh, yes, it could work. It could work with 5, 1, and 6, actually. This would work. And the 8. So I'm starting to think that this must be the solution, actually. So if this is not 2 plus 4, it has to be 5 plus 1. So this is a 2, a 3, a 4, a 2. And now, where does it break? Does it break with this 20 clue if we do this? I don't see how it should break. Now those 2 must be 0 and 1, so this has to be a 9. But then 0 and 1 in... Oh, this could be a 3. There seem to be lots of possibilities here. And that's a good reason for thinking that it's not the solution. Now, how are we doing this? This is at least 5. No, this can't be 5. So this is at least 6. There's no 5 in this 40 sum. At least 6 plus 8, that's 14. Can still be a 4. And then this can't be a 2. Oh, I didn't pay attention to the 40 clue. Wow. Oh, this 40 clue, that's embarrassing. We now, with those 5 digits, we have 35, so those 3 must add up to 5, so this has to be a 0. And those must add up to 4, 5. So this can't be a 4. And this can't be a 2. So now, those 2 digits add up to 6. This one can't be 0, 1, 2, 3, or 5, so this has to be a 4. And now that's a 2, that's a 3, that's a 4, that's a 1, that's a 2. These digits can only be a 1 now, because those are all other digits except for the 0, which is here. And now this has to be a 9. And what about those? This is at least 6. Well, if we put the minimum values, we have the right sum. 5, 8, 1, and 6. So this is a 9, that's a 1, a 9, an 8. Now we need 9 and 7, and 9 can't go there, so 9 has to be here, and 7 wraps up this solve. Wow. Well, that was a great puzzle, as usual. My solve was not so great because I kept forgetting about blatant facts such as this 40 sum, which had to include this 0. But I did it, and this is what matters for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and being faithful to this Kakuro series, video series, and see you soon on SudoKanard.